I know you don't have the time to read those long articles and look for those small pieces of information inside them. This tool will let you talk directly to any website that you want, so you don't have to spend hours combing through information to find what you're looking for. Let me show you how it works. It's 100% free and you don't even need to know how to code. All the code is down below. Alright, here's the code. So let me just show you the final result before we get into how it works. You run it, you get a Gradio interface here, which we can open in a browser. So run it here. This is the reason I made this. Look at this long article. It's about how to start using AI agents. So I want to know how to start using AI agents, not about all this other stuff. So we'll come here and we'll just take this URL and paste it here. And we'll just start with what is the article about. So this runs right here locally using this, which is Ollama, and it does take a minute, but once it has the information, we can ask it many questions. All right, so look, quick article summary that it came with. Now, like from that whole thing, what I want to know is how to start. So it's like, what are the steps to get started? I'll submit that. Okay, so the reason that this takes as long as it does is because it runs locally on your laptop. So depending how many things you have running on your laptop, it will affect the speed of this. All right, so as you can see, you're getting started. As a business integrating AI is overwhelming. Follow these steps to transform. Like whatever you want to know, you just need to ask rather than actually you having to go through the entire thing yourself. Cool. Now you wouldn't have to read this entire thing to get that information. Obviously, you can use a longer article and even do this, so whatever you want. Now we can test for many other things, but pretty much this is what it does. And let me show you now how to build it yourself. All right, let me take you through exactly how this code works. We start with the imports. The imports are just what we need to run the entire program. We need requests because we're doing scraping. Beautiful too because we're doing scraping. Ollama because that's what we're using the entire AI. Textwrap and Gradio are for formatting. All right, so this entire thing is pretty much allowing us to get into a website using this request, which makes a HTTP request to the website, pull the content, and then use Beautiful Soup using the HTML parser to comb through the HTML content, which is what we're going to feed into the AI. Right, so we get all of this title, we take out the stuff like script, tags, and style, and image input, these things that would just make the thing so heavy and are so useless to us. We remove that. And then we have this is not even necessary, you don't even need this, but you can keep it there if you want. All right, then you have the actual chatbot class. So what this is because we're using Ollama, we have a prompt here, which is you are an AI assistant with knowledge about the following website, which we give the URL to. The title, we give the title that we extracted in the previous class, and then we have the extracted content. I limited mine to 6,000, which is another reason why it took longer. If you do keep it at 3,000, it can take half the time, but you also don't get as quality of a response. Then the question is what we ask it, and we have well formatted markdown style, just because if you don't do that, you might end up with like mixed things that you want it to be bold because it's a heading or a subheading, and it just turns out to be this huge thing of characters. So you need to do this, but we also do that more specifically in the Gradio user interface. Okay, then we have response here, which is ollama.chat. You specify the model is 3.2. Whichever model you installed, you just have to replace it over there. And we have role, which is user and content. Unlike in the previous one for ChatGPTs, we had system and user. Here it's user and content. It varies depending on the LLM that you're using. All right, like I said, formatted response is Textwrap, because if you don't do this and we'll set the width, you're gonna end up with lines going off the screen. So that's why we did that. Then we have a function which allows you to actually do the conversation, takes the URL, takes the question, and if you don't have a valid URL, ask for a valid URL, and if you don't have a question, it asks you to enter a question. Right? Pretty much that's how that goes. And then you have the Gradio interface, which is this thing. So even you don't need that. I mean, you could remove this and still run it perfectly fine. It is so incredibly easy now to build things using AI because you don't have to do too many things. AI is really intelligent and capable of doing things by itself. That's really it. Like, that is literally how the code works. So it's in the description if you want to take it from there, which you obviously can. It's in a GitHub repo, so all you'll do is install, it's called SiteTalk. It's a folder. Install that. I'll put a link to the video on how to install Ollama. Install Ollama. That is it. Now, I put here a side note thing here that it's being done with Llama 3.2, which is a good model, and it's open source, so you can run it locally at no cost. However, you would get much better results if you use GPT-4o Mini because it's way more powerful. But then in that case, you need to pay for the API. And I'm going to include that in this video because in the title, I said 100% free. So I meant 100% free. But in the previous video, we talked about how to use ChatGPT's OpenAI GPT-4o Mini model for web scraping and summarizing and stuff like that. But that's it for this one. If you want to know how to build a really complex tool that can summarize loads of information, the last video was about that, and the next video will be going into more of the building AI agents part rather than looking at just the code itself. I want to talk more about how businesses are going to benefit from this and how, if you're a business owner, how you can use specific agents to help you make more money and increase your bottom line. Other than that, see you guys. Hope you liked it. And yeah, take care.